Hey guys, what's up? Itchla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides Witchla. And today, I was just thinking about how it's kind of frustrating that I don't have access to my past self. You know, I've been trying to think a little more about 2024 recently because I really was not. I feel like it was such a significant portion of my life, and for some reason it just gets skipped over in my mind, in my recollection. 2025 was very bright, it was very loud, it was very crazy. You know, it was very bright, it was very loud, it was very crazy. And I just feel like 2024 kind of slipped away. I think a part of it was due to me processing a lot of new experiences, working, dealing with the biggest stresses I've ever had to deal with, mainly getting a car. And now we're finally at a place where, the cards was paid off in 2025. I also want to say that most of it was paid in 2025. Probably have to double check that, but I don't really feel like it. I don't know that I ever will. But anyways, yeah, most of the car was probably paid off in 2025. And so in general, 2025 was just such a huge year for expenditure. And even to a point where it bled into 2026, where I'm only really just now like stabilizing. So we'll have to base it off of my year, like my actual age, not not the year. Um but yeah, so but really 2024 gets overlooked because there really wasn't anything particularly noteworthy about it. And it kind of just materially or on the surface level, it just wasn't that great. I was working full time. I was dealing with lots of traffic and I didn't really buy anything. Like, I really barely spent any money for a huge chunk of 2024. And in general, my expenditures for 2024 were very low. And it was 2025 that really opened up the floodgates. Now, but 2024, like, there was a lot of misery. There was a lot of loneliness. There was a lot of confusion about things and about life. There really wasn't. I just don't. I'm not sure that I know. You know, I'm just not sure. But there were a lot of thoughts, and in a lot of ways, I was still the same person. In many ways, I was still the same person that I am today, and I always was. But it was kind of a brief different period, you know? And then I feel like now in some ways we've kind of regressed. There's kind of been more of an entrance of confusion. I'm not really sure how to describe it. And I know this may not be good for episode's sake, but I think for myself, just to try to talk about this, I think about how a lot of people they can't really recall these things. They don't really know how they were in a certain year, how they felt, but I still can feel it. I can still remember. And yeah, my pay was horrible because they raised me to like more of a still low, but like adequate. But when I first started there, it was actually kind of just like way too low. My pay was low, and then I couldn't get the overtime, so it was even lower. And yeah, I mean, but see, at the time, it wasn't a huge deal to me because I had never worked before, so it was just cool to be getting paid. But, you know, fortunately, again, I think early in 2025, things got adjusted. But yeah, again, I just think for some reason 2024 gets skipped over. And because 2023 was obviously, I guess, just more fun. I had all my free time still. And so the memory is a little bit more apparent. 2024, like a lot of it was now, you know, I don't have my own time anymore. And I have to start to think about things in a more serious way than I ever had before. I had more of a responsibility than I'd ever had before. So yeah, I just wonder the significance of that 2024 because I don't even think about the year very often. And it's weird because even in 2025, like it was just the previous year, and I just don't think I thought about it that much. Now, granted, I was going through a lot in 2025, and I think that's probably a big part of it. But it still seems kind of strange to me that such a important year was like it just kind of got swept under the rug, glossed over, and I don't really remember anything too meaningful about it. And maybe it's because that's the truth. Maybe I really wasn't changed. Maybe I didn't really change until 2025. Maybe, you know, I was still that same person in 2024 despite all the changes that I had made, all the new environment, all the work, extremely different, but ultimately, I don't think I really changed as a person, whereas I can definitely say I'm almost a completely different person by the end of 2025, and just the things that I went through and experienced then, it's just all different. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, just so much stuff happened in 2025 and so little happened in 2024, and it was actually pretty terrible in retrospect because, like I said, my pay was much worse than it is now, and I had to deal with much worse traffic because I was still doing my regular hours. I wasn't doing the overtime. I wasn't doing the early and leave late. So yeah, like it was bad. It was really bad, and for some reason I was able to deal with it, you know? But now it's like I don't know. I don't even know what to. Now there's all other kind of concerns. A lot of my plans and stuff because of this Iran situation, I really, in a way, I wonder because it's going to make a lot of my worries come true. I've told people for a very long time like the importance of efficiency and not indulging and things like that, but it didn't make sense because for a while things were actually very stable. Like I want to say from 2024 to 25. I mean, Trump was doing policies that like I guess made people anxious or worried, but in general the way things worked, it was still pretty stable, and you were starting to use like the duct tape to patch off the bad parts of the economy. People can't afford this, just go into credit card debt. You can't afford this, do that. So things were like visually smoother than they should be, and people were still able to function, even though really, I mean, not everybody could. But I think you get what I'm saying. Like the gas price was really low, so there wasn't really going to be any fundamental change to society, or we didn't have to have that conversation. We didn't really need to talk about efficiency because, again, gas was pretty low overall, like the end of 2024 and 2025. So yeah, I mean, things were looking to be fairly stable, and then we started to see some strange economic shocks. I don't even really remember when the RAM thing happened, but I think it was still 2025, but like, and then the tariffs, and like we started to see some major instability looming, and that wasn't apparent. Well, some people would say it was apparent, but I think you get what I'm saying. It wasn't really apparent. But now, like, everything is going to hit the fan so fast, I don't even understand what's going to happen. A lot of these things I talk about, I guess I really shouldn't be worried. Like, I should be worried, but at the same time, I shouldn't, because it's exciting, because it's finally the turning point. It's kind of like, in a way, what I've been waiting for. I know that sounds pretty dark, and it is dark, but I've known this moment was coming, and we kind of, in general, we knew that the House of Cards was going to come down at some point. We knew. We knew what was coming, it was just a matter of time. But I remember, in comparison, how peaceful 2024 was, and maybe that's the thing too. I mean, in 2024, I still kind of, I don't know that I really embraced the future like I did in 2025. That was one of my biggest changes. Going from somebody who was very skeptical and cautious about things to someone who wasn't and is actually like, yeah, actually, maybe I'd be good for this type of a system. Because it's probably true. Not that it's going to be easier, but that if anybody's up for it, well, no, I'm actually not going to say that either. There's definitely people more up for it than me. I can't get too ahead of myself in that regard. But, you know, we're beginning to see the whole situation. The whole situation. We're beginning to see. But yeah, so in a way, it's exciting, but I almost don't know, because I guess in my mind I didn't know it would be 2026. Like, you're still kind of processing what's happening. Processing what's happening in 2026. Because it's obviously going to have how did I just say that? Quite the historic impact. I can't believe how far I came. I just can't believe it. I didn't think I'd ever be doing something like this. I never would have imagined where I ended up. Never could have imagined. Do people have to be perfect to us? Are we even able to tolerate or have patience for others anymore? This is kind of what I've been thinking about recently. Kind of seems like for whatever reason, we just don't get it. But what don't we get? Oh no. Getting very tired again, which is strange because I did sleep well today, and when I woke up, I actually was Also, feeling pretty good. And on my watch, things looked pretty good. So I don't really know what's going on. No, I don't know why I'd be so tired right now. I think I'm actually dehydrated, probably. Yeah, I have a feeling it's just, lack of water. I mean, I miss knowing a joy. And I feel like in my case, I don't know if the joys I've known have been real or not. When I was spiritual, when I was a teenager, when I was this or when I was that, was it just because I was in an episode? And is the joy of an episode not even actually achievable or sustainable? Like I've think about these things. Like it's possible I've experienced and I've felt such an intoxicating joy that other forms of it just don't really matter to me. Other forms of the same joy. No, I mean not a strong joy. And so because of that, I guess a person is not really I don't know if they'd ever really be enough for me. And I don't think I'd ever really be enough for another person because I taste temporary fragments of being somebody so good. And, if I was like that 24/7, I'd be powerful. Be a powerful guy. Successful too. But instead, that's not how it is. Not how it is at all. I just I don't even know. I don't know when we're gonna reach some kind of a positive state. That's really what I'm looking for. But I'm trying to look back. I'm trying to think back to what joy was and what achieved the joy back in the past and how to regain the joy. The joy. We all discover joy in a different way, through different means, by different means. What does it all mean? One night, all of us discover a joy. Some of us never really find joy for our whole lives. It's just life is just a big jumble of events, and sure, you might have happy moments, but I don't know that one ever really discovers joy or really feels it, especially now with the degree of numbingness that is going on. Did I really just make up numbingness? Because I doubt that's a word. With the degree of numbness that is infecting younger people, man, I don't know. I can't believe this keeps happening, but it's very frustrating because the other time I didn't sleep enough, but today there's no excuse. I literally slept fine. I think I'm just losing drive. I'm losing drive to keep trudging through. Losing drive to keep trudging through. Losing all the low hanging fruit is getting picked, and yeah, like I'm finally afloat, but I've been working for a while now. It's taken just this long just to finally have something, finally have some sense of a stability, but I don't even know. Again, with this Iran thing, I don't know what to expect. Mm. Mm. Yeah, I don't like this whole tired thing. I really don't. Just can't say that I do. And it's just in this car ride. Like, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird because last time I knew the problem was poor sleep. I think now it's mostly gotta be dehydration. Oh boy. Yeah, sorry I'm getting so quiet. I don't know. I just don't know what to say, what to mention, all that. Just couldn't tell you. You know, there were other things that I was restricted from doing, like when the 3DS came out, my dad really didn't like it because of the 3D effect for the eyes. And so I think once I got older, I ended up getting it. But at first, my dad wasn't into it. Didn't lead to a permanent restriction, just led to a restriction of some years. Because I guess I was 9 when that came out or something. Maybe 8. And then I ended up getting it when I was like 14. Okay. When I was 14, I think is how old I was when I finally got it. The new one, the new 3DS. But at first my dad said no. I think it was a mixture of him, not really wanting me to play video games as much, I think. And then in addition to that, he was skeptical of the 3D thing. He didn't, because he thought that the reason why I needed glasses was because of the DS, even though the doctor didn't say that. The doctor didn't seem to think that that was really a big deal, but he did. And so, I guess he just wasn't too keen on the idea. I'm sorry for these pauses, but I'm just tired. I don't understand why this keeps happening, but I think it's probably just water. And I'm using a lot of water to talk and speak. Because not only is my brain tapping into the hydratory solutions, but there's nothing there to hydratory solution. I don't know. How do we know? How will we know? You know. All right. At least we're basically here now. It's obviously a good thing. Obviously a great thing. All right. We're good. We made it. That's great. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Why? I know. Why was like, oh my gosh. I just wonder what all this even means. Like what I'm doing, what any of us are doing. I mean, it's just, what does it all mean? You know, what does it all mean? The trials and paths we go on. I mean, I just can't believe it. And all the weird things that I do. Like, I'm so weird. You guys know that? I'm literally so weird. Why did I incarnate in such a weird body, like, that has to go through all this weird stuff? It's weird. It's weird. Well, guess it's time to get ready for the day. It's another day ahead, and it's Monday, so. Just another Monday ahead, you know. It is what it is. It is what it is. Not too much to say. Not too much to say. Mm-hmm. Mm. Well, I think that it has been Schla. And now it's time to buy Schla. So, see ya, Schla.